everyone, welcome to my channel. So we're a couple of weeks away from starting our curriculum with My Father's World, and yesterday I went to Walmart and finally grabbed some supplies. I haven't unpacked my boxes really or done any organizing yet. So today I'm going to try to get organized. I'm going to pull out the pieces of our curriculum. We're using My Father's World, Exploring Countries and Cultures, and Voyage of Discovery for my preschooler. I'm going to take you with me as we try to make sense of all the pieces, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm so glad you could join me today. If you don't know me, I'm Sarah. I love sharing tips, resources, and encouragement with homeschool moms, both here on YouTube and on my blog, blessedhomeschool.com. So I didn't get a ton of stuff yesterday, but I did stock up on some of the things that our curriculum recommended that we're going to need for this year. And this is our kitchen. This is the main spot where we typically do most of our homeschooling. So this is what I'm going to just try to get organized today. I've got my boxes of curriculum here. So I'm going to start pulling some things out and seeing what I want to do with it. And we do actually have, well, we turned our dining room into kind of our homeschool room. And this is where we've got the kids' computers set up. They're working on some CTC math right now. But our computers are set up in here. I do have a whiteboard in here. And this is where last year I organized and stored a lot of their materials for their BJU Press distance learning online. They do work in here for a lot of their individual work, but otherwise we're typically in the kitchen. So that's why this year, this shelf is probably gonna be more for storage, some of the books that we're gonna be reading, and then the kitchen is where we will store most of our supplies for easy access. Okay, so before I start with all of the curriculum, one thing that I did for my kids a couple years ago was I bought these little pencil containers and I put their names on the front with my vinyl, my silhouette, and I use these for their art bins. So, well, art bins. We hold markers and pencils and things like that in them. So just for easy access, whenever we're ready to sit down at the table, they can grab this, and that way if they need colored pencils or markers or anything like that, they have them on hand. So my daughter lost hers, so I've got two of them right now. She's gonna try to find the other one and we'll fill that up, but these are what I'm gonna stock up first. Next, what I really wanted to do, since we are going to be using our kitchen space so much this year, I wanted to clean out two of our bottom cabinets and use them specifically for storing school things. So I got most of them emptied out. I want to just kind of wipe them down and consolidate some things, and then I can use them, figure out where I'm going to put some of the new stuff. This is a junk drawer. I'm gonna leave it a junk drawer right now. There's a lot of crazy stuff in there. This one we did use for some random electronics. I think I'm gonna clean this one out and dedicate both of these, two cupboards and the drawer, for school supplies. So here we've got a lot of card games. This one I did have some different flashcards and things, which I'm moving into a bucket right here, things that I want to save. So I think I'm going to continue just to pull this out, find a new home for this, scoot everything over, and then I'll have one extra drawer I can use for random supplies that we're going to need throughout the year. So I'm thinking, since we usually use a lot of the counter space for our binders, and then I've got some space over here that we use. I'm pretty sure just one cabinet and drawer is gonna be enough for some things that I need to store for our school year. This second cabinet, I'm gonna go ahead and I kind of keep just like a catch-all of random puzzles and different things like that that we might want to use throughout the year. So that's what I'm going to organize next. My preschooler also has a little art bin that we use. This is the one that I use for his. It's a little bit bigger. I don't have his name on it, but last year, I'm gonna keep most of the same stuff in here. Last year, I had some jumbo crayons. These are amazing. He loves them. Slick sticks, you can pick some up if you have a preschooler. And then he had some markers, and then he loves doing watercolor paints. So this one, I'm not sure how much more use we will get out of this, but I did get just a small little watercolor set for him that we are going to use next year. So I'm going to stick this in the bin and keep the same markers, keep these, and his jumbo crayons. And then I'll stick this in the same drawer that I have my other kids in. And I'll explain what I have over here just so you guys can see the setup. With these drawers, I just use these to keep things. These are some random little blank books that I found. My daughters like to draw in sometimes. This, I keep some different colored cardstock. I have our drawing pads in this drawer, drawing paper, tracing paper, things like that. Not want to shut right now. I'm not going to fight it. This one, I have just lined paper. So we're going to stock that up. Handwriting paper is in here. This was mainly for when they were younger. And then I have some construction paper at the bottom. On this shelf, this white shelf, I got this on Amazon when we first started homeschooling, and it's been really helpful. Each of my older kids has their own cubby here, and so they use this for the subjects and things that we are doing together. So we've got our learning language arts through literature stuff in there. And then we also have our BJU Press Heritage Studies that we're working through. So each of them have their own shelf. They've got our Bible kind of in these extra spots. And then I just use these for magazines. When we collect magazines, if we need them for projects, so those go in there. This is coloring books, sticker books, Brave books. If you guys don't know about those, they're amazing. You want to check them out. We love them. And let's see. Over here, I just have some extra drawing and painting sheets. They were left over from one of the curriculums we did a couple years ago. And then at the bottom, these are just random drawing books. My daughter wants me to make this for her birthday cake. So, but just different drawing books that I have go down here, so whenever they want to use them or feel inspired, they can do that. So that's what's in this setup. Again, at the top, I've got hole punch, tape, stapler, paper clips, pens, colored pencils. I love these turning carts. This is a really old one from Pampered Chef, but you can find something similar just to hold all the different supplies. We've got glue, some random tape, note cards, things like that in there. Okay, so next up I'm going to try to organize some of my materials for My Father's World Exploring Countries and Cultures. They have a great list in the front that kind of goes over the materials that you're going to need and how you should set everything up. So one of the things that they recommended was to get a 1-inch binder for each student, and this is going to be for our geography, I believe. Let's see, geography and science. So I'm going to find our student sheets for this and see how I want to kind of set this up. Okay, so these are the student sheets that came with My Father's World Exploring Countries and Cultures. So I'm going to be putting together a binder for each of my kids, and it said there is a cover. Okay, so this right here is going to be the cover for the geography notebook. So I'm going to take that and just stick that in the top right here. Okay, and then since I haven't looked too far ahead in how we're gonna organize this, it did say in week 1 that the kids were going to be separating different sections in using 8 tab dividers. So I did go ahead and buy these, and I'm gonna set them aside, and my kids are gonna make the different sections for the first week. And I also got one of these. I figure it's gonna be pretty useful. We have these little passports that they're going to be using in this curriculum. So I'm going to store just some little things like that in here. Any little things that we have to cut out that they might need to access throughout the year, that's going to go in here and just go in the front. And then otherwise, I got a lot of page protectors because I find it easier to kind of separate the curriculum by weeks and put some of the important things in page protectors, because you know how that goes. But typically with My Father's World, okay, it looks like we've got some memory verses at the front. These I'm definitely going to put in page protectors. We've got passport application, and this is for week 1. So at the top, it'll tell me what week we're in, and I like to put all of the different weeks together in their own page protectors. So they're not hole punch. I could hole punch them and just stick them in the binder, but I like to have the page protectors because then anything after that first week that I want to save, I just stick it back in the page protector and it can stay in their notebook, and it just keeps it a little bit more safe and not getting ruined. So that's the plan. I'm gonna see if it's all gonna fit in here. We'll see, but that's what I'm gonna start organizing right now. So 34 weeks of curriculum did fit in 1-inch binder. I've got the page protectors in there. 1 kid is done. I've got 2 more to go. Shouldn't take me too long, but can't say I'm looking forward to that. But one of them is done at least. And so ideally, they will have all their loose pieces. It looks like there's going to be a lot of different cutouts, flags, and different spots that they're going to need to memorize for the maps that we'll cut out, that we'll store in this pouch. And then, like I showed you before, we've got the Bible memory at the front. And then each week has its own set of pockets. So on that first week, they will set up their tab dividers, and then every week we will pull out whatever we need from that first week, and then whatever we want to save, we'll just slip back into the same pocket. And then what I usually do is, after we're done with that week, I put it at the very back of the binder. So all the finished stuff goes in the back, and that way the next week, week 2 would be right up front, and we have exactly what we need right at the front. Everything for that week is in one pocket, and we don't have to search for it. So I'm gonna take their binders and I'm gonna store them right on the shelf out there so that we have easy access to them during the day. And then I'm gonna dig through some of the rest of these books here and just figure out where I want to store them, probably in that cabinet that I just cleaned out. so next up I have a few things to organize for our Voyage of Discovery curriculum. I've got a binder that I'm going to be organizing for my preschooler, similarly to how I did Exploring Countries and Cultures. And then I've got our box of supplies here that I need to unpack and figure out what I'm going to do with everything. So that's what's next on the organizing agenda. Okay, so I'm done with the preschool binder, and same deal as before. Each week is going to be in its own separate little pouch, so it's really easy to find the materials. Once we complete things, anything I want to save is going to go back into the page protector, and it'll go to the back, and then the new week stuff will be right at the front. So next, what I'm going to do is I have some extra things from the curriculum, some different toys, and I'm just gonna work on kind of organizing that, sorting that. A lot of it is gonna go down in that cabinet. Right now I put a lot of stuff down there from Exploring Countries and Cultures, just because I'm not sure how we're gonna use it yet, but it's all just kind of tucked away down there, and then as we need it, I can pull it out really easily. And then if I wanna store it someplace else, like on a bookshelf or something, or on the counter, I might do that. So I'm gonna try to get the rest of this stuff organized, at least up to a point where I feel satisfied with it for today and at a good stopping point. And yeah, that's about it. So we're making progress. So I think it's about time for me to be finished for today. We have some people coming over tonight, and I've got a few things that I still need to do, but I'm feeling a little bit better about all the stuff. Things are organized. I've got some drawers and cabinets cleaned out, designated for some school stuff. So we have already started with some of our curriculum, but we're gonna be officially starting my Father's World curriculum in about 2 weeks. So all I have to do is prep the other binders for my other 2 kids, and then just figure out where some of that other stuff is gonna go. But for the most part, we should be set. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me today as I organized my curriculum and got our space in a little bit better order. I hope it gave you some ideas maybe for organization, or if you're using this curriculum, maybe gave you some ideas for how to set up your binder or organize your materials. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. All right guys, I hope you have a great start to your school year, and I'll see you next time.